Okay, so a couple nights ago, me and a group of the guys went to go watch Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. This, I believe, is my third Wes Anderson film. The only two others I remember seeing is The French Connection, also with a group of friends, and The Grand Budapest Hotel. I can't say that I'm like a huge Wes Anderson fan. I think I said Anderson, not Anderson. It makes him sound like a Minecraft monster. I'm not a huge WA fan. Not because I haven't enjoyed the movies, I've enjoyed them a lot, but just because I've only seen three of them, I can't say like I'm really into his stuff. But every time I see a Wes Anderson movie, maybe not as much with the Grand Budapest, I don't exactly remember, it was several years ago. But after watching this one, I was like, I should watch more WA movies. And I think I said the same thing after watching The French Connection, so I should probably get on that. But the vibe I tend to get from his movies, you'll get a lot of familiar faces. Like, who are some of the people in this movie? Like Adrian Brody, Edward Norton, Bryan Cranston, Margot Robbie, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Steve Carell. Some of them in very minor roles. Like Steve Carell has maybe 7 total minutes of screen time. Margot Robbie has one scene. I don't know his name, but the guy that played the Spot in Spider-Verse is one of the main characters in this movie. But like a lot of familiar faces, a lot of familiar or familiar voices. But them really getting into their characters, I feel like the sets tend to be very colorful. A good chunk of this movie is in black and white, so obviously those parts aren't very colorful. But when they're actually in Asteroid City, I'm like, oh no, this actually looks really pretty. Like, it's surprisingly really bright for like the middle of the... I mean, to be fair though, I remember a few years ago, I was driving through the desert. We were driving through, it was either Arizona or New Mexico. It might have been both, because I know we did end up driving through both. I was like, this is fucking pretty, man. No wonder they wanted to film Breaking Bad out here. This is gorgeous as shit. I love it. It's like, I tend to think the movie's like pretty. The performances are good. They're just funny as fuck, and they're so dry, and I think that's what I really like about it. Like, don't get me wrong, I like smarmy humor, I like really sarcastic shit, but characters talking really quickly, coming up with shit off like the top of their heads, saying it completely straight-faced, is really funny to me. There's times where I feel like it's less like I'm watching a movie and more like I'm watching a comic book. Less in the way that like everything really pops out at me like they did in Puss in Boots 2 or like in Persona 5. But almost like as I'm watching a scene, I just feel like I'm flipping through the pages of a comic. Like, oh, this is really fun. Oh, look, we're done. And the fact that The French Connection is... Sorry, why did I say The French Connection? That was the last movie. Asteroid City is specifically about a play, and it's literally in the first scene of the movie. You're like, yeah, this is a play that was written by this writer. All the black and white scenes are just kind of like the production stuff. You'll have scenes where like the playwright talking to like the actors. You'll have scenes of the director of the play talking to the actors, the playwright talking to a group of actors. He's like, I'm having some trouble figuring out what to do with this scene. And so William Dafoe ends up getting like his group of improv people to improv being asleep. I'd say it makes sense in context. It mostly does, but like, hey, I don't actually think there was a scene in the play where everyone was asleep, but okay. It's probably metaphorical. Sure, why not, dog? It's a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. Like I said, it's the kind of movie that makes me go, why don't I watch more of this guy's stuff? Because I've liked everything I've seen. I should probably get on that. So now I will transition into mild spoilers. There's not a whole lot in the movie to spoil. To me, like, it's a couple, like, little relationship things that happen. But it's really the one thing to spoil happens at the end of the first act. So, like, I guess there's kind of another scene, but I'll talk about them here in a bit. But let me give a quick countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler time. So, I didn't really know anything about the movie going in, except that it's Wes Anderson. I didn't know there was supposed to be an alien or what the alien would do, which is apparently played by Jeff Goldblum, although it's very clearly like stop motion, but I don't know, maybe he did the movement for it like some Andy Serkis shit. The scene with the alien though, as everyone's like looking up at the sky at like this, what do they call it? It's like an ellipses where these like 3 red dots, and then there's this green dot. which keeps getting bigger and bigger, and then it's a spaceship. And then this fucking, like, stop motion leg comes out, and then another one, and then it just descends, and there's this stringy, super thin, so black, he looks like he's made out of tar, alien just staring at everybody, like he wasn't expecting a crowd. Just gets off his little perch, picks up the asteroid from Asteroid City, because that is the name of the setting. Just kind of looking at everybody while holding it, and the main character is my boy Augie, who's a photographer, just lifts up his camera to snap a picture, and the alien sees that and is holding the thing, and then kind of holds it up like he's posing with it, gets his picture taken, and just dips. And the other funniest scene in the movie is, this sounds really bad out of context, but if you've seen the movie, you hopefully know what I'm talking about, is Augie explaining to his kids that their mother has been dead for, like, 3 weeks. Essentially, apparently she was, like, dying of cancer, there was a lot of sickness going on, like, in and out of the hospital, and so, essentially what he told them is, like, hey kids, we're gonna be going to Grandpa's to pay him a visit. Not telling them that, well, Mom died, we're going to be moving in with Grandpa and living with him. So, but when he tells them, and I think it was Woodrow was the name of the son, after he kind of, gives the spiel, like, you mean our mom's been dead for 3 weeks? And it was just the Wes Anderson, like, dry, deadpan delivery of it. Made me laugh, and I felt really bad, but I wasn't the only one. And then when the scene's done, Augie pulls out this Tupperware of the mom's ashes, and when he's done talking, he just kind of hits it a couple, and not like he's mad, like he's almost like, I don't really know what to say, he's just kind of banging the top of the Tupperware. It was some dark humor, but it fucking got me, I can't lie, I laughed. It's not like I was laughing super hard outside, but inside I was laughing really hard. I was having a good time. I feel like the other spoilery scene is there's a part near the end of the movie where the actor playing Augie leaves the set of, he's having a little bit of trouble getting in. It's less that he's having trouble getting into character, but he's having trouble sympathizing with his character's motives at one point. There's a point where Augie burns his hand on like a griddle where he was cooking a grilled cheese, and they mention it very early in the movie where he's talking to the player. He's like, why does Augie burn his hand? I don't know, I was writing the scene, he just kind of did it on his own. I'm still trying to figure out, what do you think, actor? And the actor's like, well, I think he's trying to, like, his heart is beating really fast, and he's trying to think of a reason for why his heart is burning really fast, so he just does it. Which the playwright goes, oh, that's a really good line, I should write that. No, I don't think I will. But I like that as the motivation. And then when you actually get to that, I think that scene already happens in the movie, and then a little later, the actor again's like, why does he do that? Kind of almost, why does anything happen? I need to go. So he just leaves the set, and then it goes from being in color into black and white. He's talking to the director, and the director's like, hey, are you going to miss your cue? No, I have like 6 minutes left before my next line. It'll be fine. Oh, okay. So he goes outside, and across the way is another actress who's in another play who was going to be in Asteroid City and was going to play Augie's wife. This is Margot Robbie. And they reenact a scene between the two of them. It's really sweet. It was really good. I liked it a lot. So I really don't have much else to say about the movie itself. Sorry, I just wanted to see if I had any other real notes. Oh, no, I take that back. Before I say that, when it comes to the themes of the movie, like what the movie is about, what it seems to be discussing, to me, it is about, I don't know if I want to, it's like trying to find meaning in the unknown, I guess. There's a part where the playwright is even saying, like, what's it about? Like, I don't know, it's about, like, infinity, like, the vastness of space and of, like, reality and shit. And there's a part where, all these actors are improvising and they're all pretending to be asleep. And then at one point, one guy goes, you can't wake up if you don't fall asleep. And then it cuts to another person. You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep. And then another person, you can't wake up if you don't fall asleep, et cetera, et cetera. It might have only been like 3 people that did it, or it might have been like a lot. I only saw it 2 days ago, and I don't exactly remember. But I know it was like 3 people in quick succession at the very least. I wrote down a couple examples, but it's getting kind of late. I didn't want to record this a few hours earlier when it was sunnier because, it's really fucking hot right now. Now it's a lot cooler, but I can't see my notes as well. Go figure. Nothing's going to be perfect. Yeah, so some of the things I wrote down, like finding meaning in the unknown and shit, like the nature of God is something they ruminate on. The value of real estate, because there's a vending machine that sells real estate. Don't worry about it. Like the actions and motivations of the alien and of the characters as well. Particularly, like, why does Augie burn his hand? Which, again, something they bring up a few times. I feel like that's really all I can say about the movie itself. But there's something else I feel like I need to and want to talk about. And it was my night after the film. So I get back home. Jose drives. Like, we talk for a bit. We have I don't want to say an intimate conversation, because it almost sounds like it was almost like a sexual romantic thing. I'm like, no, like, Jose and I are not like that. But it was a very, like really talking about important stuff, like each other's lives. Like, what are things in your life that you think are going really well? Things in your life that you think you can improve on, not going as well, etc., etc. And my birthday is in a couple months, like 6 weeks or so, maybe 7 weeks, somewhere around there. Middle of August. Augie, go figure. And so that's something that's just kind of been on my mind a lot lately, thinking about my own life, how it's going, the good parts, the bad parts, and I don't necessarily want to say the meaning of it, but almost the emptiness of it. At least like the past week or so, I just haven't been feeling super mentally well, and I've just been feeling super empty. And I remember, we get back from the movie, we all kind of hang out for a bit, then I go on a drive by myself around the lake, which is something I normally do. I really like doing. I'm probably going to do it pretty soon here in a bit. And I remember when I got back home, kind of sat here in my car and I cried a little bit. For like, I don't know, 20 seconds, like not super long. Then I went back inside and I had a talk with like my roommates about like random shit. Like Clay just got himself a 64 because he really likes collecting games. And so we were like talking about that, different shit. We talked about Kingdom Hearts. I ranted about Kingdom Hearts. I love Kingdom Hearts. I feel like it's very important to say, anytime I am ranting about this series, it is not because I hate it and it's bad. It's I love it. But regardless, we did all that. I went to bed a little early because I had work the next day. And I remember when I went to sleep, or like when I was getting to bed, thinking about how badly I didn't want to wake up the next day. And I remember the dream I had. I was walking, like it was sunny, it was pretty. I was walking through like a kind of pretty close to where my parents live. Like it's kind of out in the sticks though. But like it was kind of like walking. My cat was with me. Like half my face is in shadow. Yeah, it's fucking dark. Can I? No, if I turn that on, then like the fucking sounds of the car will be too loud. Maybe I can try to speedrun the dream of it. But I'm walking with my cat, and I come across this house, like this big blue house. Insert Bear in the Big Blue House joke here. I grew up watching that shit. I adore it. But this really nice house, and there's these for sale signs, like, for sale, come look inside, it's really worth, like, we have a nice house, we know a lot of celebrities, we might be willing to give away some of their numbers. I was like, I mean, is that, sorry, there's a really big-ass bug. I don't know if that's inside or outside the car. I hope that's outside the car. I really don't like giant bugs, If it is inside the car, how the fuck did he get in? Anyways, I walk up to the house. I'm like, this is a nice looking house. Maybe I could get some nice connections, like worst case scenario. And I go and I'm about to knock on the door. And I just hesitate. Because I'm like, maybe it's too good for me. Fuck it. I knock on the door. I looked to see if the bug was going to move, jumped anticipating that the bug would move from the banging, and it didn't move. So it's not even that I was scared of my own shadow. I was scared of literally nothing. Anyways, I knock on the door, and there's this voice coming from the other side of the door. And it's really faint, like it's the fucking wind. And it says, "Come in." But I'm not quite sure if I heard it. Again, it was super faint. And I don't remember if I knocked again, if I rang the doorbell, or if I just stood outside. But I remember just kind of sitting there, and then I heard the voice again, a lot louder, a lot clearer, saying, like, like I said, "Come in, it's rude to stay outside if someone's offering you, to come in." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, no problem. I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if I heard you. I didn't want to be rude and just come into your house." So walk into the house, this lady comes up to me. She's, very friendly. She has like a big personality. She's welcoming me into the house, wanting to show it off. I remember she talks to me about her faith, how it's really important, and how the last thing she wants is for someone to buy her house and turning it into a gambling den. Don't know why she singled that out of like all the sins, but she really did not want it to become a gambling den. She shows me the upstairs. She has a few cats. I remember one of them looked almost identical to Bahamut. I almost mixed the two up for a moment. And after she shows me everything, she asks me, "Do you want to buy my house?" And I tell her, it's a really nice house, but I can't afford it. It's out of my price range. I'm sorry I wasted your time. I thought maybe this was kind of like an open house thing. I wanted to check it out. I thought, maybe some of those connections you have sound really cool. The two I remember specifically were Carmen Electra, who's super attractive, and Stephen King. And I'm like, I love writing. He's a famous writer. This could be someone that could be like a really helpful connection for me. I will take that. And being like, I can't afford it. Maybe I'm taking advantage of you by asking for that shit. I don't know. I'm sorry. And I was expecting her to be really upset with me, but she wasn't. She was like, "Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like really trying to get rid of this house. Do you want it? Like, would you take it for free?" And I remember thinking to myself, like, this is like everything I could want. Like, it's a nice house. It's very comfortable. I've got my cat. I could have the connections to really like start my career the way I want it to. Like people that could maybe potentially really help me. If I say yes, I don't think I'm going to wake up. Because I won't need to wake up. And I told her no. I don't want the house. And then the dream almost like rewound a bit to her offering it to me saying no, and then her getting mad at me for wasting her time and then like kicking me out. And then at that point, I woke up. It wasn't like, she kicked me out and I bolted out of bed. I maybe there was something else that happened like really quickly after, but I do remember waking up and thinking about it. Because a lot of times, I wake up from a dream and I'm like, that was super cool and intense. I can't remember a ding-dang thing. But I remembered this really clearly, and it's been a couple days and I still remember it. And I remember ruminating on it, like, why did I say no? Is that because, as down as I felt the last couple days, I still want to wake up every morning? I still want to live and enjoy my life and enjoy my family and my friends and my cool shit and making videos because I think it's really fun, even though you can't really see me right now. I'm sorry, probably just started a little bit earlier, but my phone was charging. Is that it? Is it because being offered everything on a silver platter just doesn't sit right with me? Because I didn't feel like I had earned it yet. It's something I feel like I really have to work toward, and until I earn it myself, I can't accept it. Oh, the bug's gone. I don't know if he just left the window and is in the car, or if he left. I guess I'll figure that out pretty soon. Sorry, I get sidetracked, but I don't know if it was because of that. I don't know if it was because I was genuinely offered happiness And I still said no because I don't really think I can ever be happy. I don't know if it was any of those things, if it was some combination of them, maybe it was all three at once. But the one thing I do know is that if I hadn't gone to sleep, I wouldn't have been able to wake up.